So as I mentioned before, do not stay in a bad environment trying to make it a good one, trying to turn it into something that it's not. Think about how the environment affects us, even on a physical level, right? A bad environment, whether it's physically, emotionally, spiritually, it will have a negative effect on us. But think about the human body. We absorb things through our pores, right? So imagine that you were in a polluted environment. Imagine how many toxins are seeping into your bloodstream through the holes in your skin, the pores in your skin. Think about that picture, and it should remind you of how detrimental a bad environment can be. But I think it's even more important that we look at why we would stay in a bad environment, trying to make it good. And again, I'm reminded of those tenets of my belief system: self-esteem, self-acceptance, right? Self-responsibility, respect for free will. These things, they're violations of these basic fundamental principles that will cause you to stay in an environment that's harmful to you. Let's take a look at self-acceptance. And self-esteem falls in that category as well. But when we really look at that, if we can't accept ourselves for who we are, right? If we're not willing to come to terms with who we are, whether it's who we want to be or not, but who we are and what we need to do, then we may stay in a bad environment because we feel accepted by someone else, right? So rather than self-esteem, we have that them esteem. Our esteem is based on how other people treat us, how we believe other people perceive us. So we'll stay in that negative environment because it makes us feel better. It fills that need, right? And then if we look at, the concept of self-responsibility, there's two things here. There is the idea of taking responsibility for the things that you're responsible for. In other words, never asking someone else to do something that you could or should do for yourself. Then there's the obverse of that, which is, causing other people, allowing other people to take responsibility for themselves by never doing something for another person that they can and should do for themselves, right? So don't ask anyone to do something for you that you can and should do for yourself. Don't do something for somebody else that they can and should do for themselves, because in fact we're robbing them of an opportunity to grow, right? But when we're in a bad environment, often it's because we feel responsible for someone else in that environment. And we allow that misplaced responsibility to cause us to stay in that bad environment, right? But here's the tricky part. As long as we're assuming that responsibility, that individual will never change. They will never accept responsibility for themselves. Therefore, there will always be a reason for you to remain in that environment right there along with them. So you'll stay in a bad environment trying to make it good. Right? And then lastly, that last concept, respect for free will, right? And this is not necessarily the part where we respect the free will of others, but the part where we demand that others respect our free will, our ability, or our right to choose, lay out our own path, choose our own destiny. Like the books used to say, choose your own adventure, right? And since we don't demand others respect that free will, we succumb to the pressure that they may place upon us to remain where we are for some reason, some negative reason, whatever that might be. There can be tons of them, but we're being used in some way, shape, or form. But rather than demanding that they respect our free will, we tolerate that, and we remain in that bad environment, trying to make it good. It's all bad. This is really one of those times where you can use toxicity in the right way. A toxic environment, a bad environment for you will poison you. It will poison you physically. It would poison your bloodstream. Psychologically, it would poison your mindset. Spiritually, it would poison your heart and soul. It's just all bad, right? And there's really nothing that can protect you for it. It's like wearing a radiation suit. And if the longer you stay in that environment, the more it eats through the suit. There's nothing that can protect you in that environment long term. No matter how strong you are mentally, spiritually, physically, long term, you will succumb to those effects. Don't stay in a bad environment trying to make it good. Right? The worst case scenario, it's a temporary condition, very temporary. Try to avoid going there at all. But if you find yourself there, get out of it as quickly as you possibly can. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. I welcome other perspectives, other ways of looking at the same information and breaking it down. Other examples, share those with me. And until next time, peace.